now time.
I'm so excited.
Oh no! I do love you, but bye.
Oh, it's so wrong. I gotta go. I got something to do. Not as exciting as this. I'll tell you that right now, but.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Survivor Now's Got Something For You podcast. I am here, as always, with Ali. Sorry, I butchered the intro there, Ali.
It's fine. Trust me, we're not perfect. I butcher it all the time. I don't think I ever get it right, so.
And joining us to the far left, his lower third says, Scott, you might know him better online as Survivorisms. We've got Scott with us. How you doing, Scott?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Of course. And look, we've got a great episode 2 to talk about. Just from, the jump here, what were your overall thoughts on episode 2, Scott?
I thought it was an okay episode. I do like the fact that they're kind of getting into the dynamics between each tribe. Alliances are definitely forming and becoming tight now. And I always like seeing tribal dynamics. So, yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes.
What about you, Ollie?
I can't remember. I think Bandit Survivor said this on Stockwatch. It was like a tremendously okay episode. Like, it was okay, and but not in like anything bad. It was good. It was standard. It did the job it needed to, and it was just that. It was a good build episode. There was a lot of building that was going on.
Yeah, I am really excited to get into the nitty gritty here. I think that I thought very similarly, Ollie. I think I was almost surprised after the episode, sort of poking around, different, podcast shows that we do, others do, and realizing that I feel like people were very, very high on it. And I think that it was better than the premiere. But I'm excited to get into the nitty gritty. Let's throw up our slide, Ollie. Here we are. We are starting back on the Blue Tribe, and we don't get the typical, it's still nighttime, and they're sort of talking about the decision. I feel like they were just like, okay, Nicole's gone, and I think you guys had 2 hours to figure out why this happened. However, I do think that it was funny that we started off with Jake asking, "What do you think Nicole said about us in her exit interview, or in her final words?" Did y'all find that entertaining at all?
I found it I feel like they never really talk about that on the show. It was actually cool to see them talk about that for once, because most of the time it's just like, oh, we miss her, blah, blah, but to have them actually say, I wonder what she said about us, was an interesting touch. But yeah, I thought that was kind of out of the blue.
Yeah, I was definitely taken aback as well. Pushing forward here, we see them eating earthworms because Blue has gotten no supplies and no food. Ollie, seems like you are a big fan of the worms.
Well, look, I understand the protein, but I am a princess when it comes to some things. Eating earthworms is definitely one of them.
Yeah, do you think that you'd be out there? You think you'd be able to brave the earthworms out there, Scott?
I'd like to think I probably could, but yeah, probably not. Anything really gritty and muddy in my mouth probably wouldn't do well with me. Yeah,
I think that I was definitely watching this and thinking, man, is it? Are the coconuts really that bad? I feel like I'd be more focused on coconuts. Obviously, they don't have tools to fish or anything like that. So I do understand that, when push comes to shove, this might be what you're left with. But I also was I was not. I could not see myself doing that. Of course, unless it was needed. Another scene. I'm not sure we have a slide for it specifically, but we get a lot from Jeremiah and who is Jeremiah with? Lord Jesus.
Sophie.
One more time.
Sophie, Annie, Jay.
Yes, Sophie and Jeremiah. Not being very kind to Annie, who I don't think was doing all that much to deserve the bad words. Yeah. Did you guys feel any way about that?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think Annie was saying anything that bad. She was just, given them a suggestion. I wouldn't have taken it that reaction, but then again, I haven't been starving on an island for a few days, so. But yeah, I thought maybe they went a bit too far with that one, potentially.
Not sure yet. I'm still processing it.
Still processing it. I mean, Annie goes home at the end of this episode, Ali. There's not much more context you're gonna get. I definitely, I don't know. I felt bad for Annie. Honestly, this whole entire episode, from start to finish, and I get that she didn't really fit in, but I felt like they were being a little hard on her.
I think it depends, because obviously, like, right away at the start of this episode, and I think it's the next slide, you do see Annie kind of like pitching, like, oh, we're gonna go for, like, I think Jake's the best option. Like, we need to go for Jake. And I think, like, great, say the names, that's fabulous. I think for me, what it is Annie got a vote last round, and obviously, like, from what we're hearing, it was the fact that, like, Annie was basically in the bottom. And kind of, you had people kind of making a point of that. So either they're doing a great job at making Annie feel like she wasn't one of the two that were in the bottom, or she really is just that delusional. I'm going to decide that it was the first one, just to be nice. But, like, that's where it is, because it's like, I understand the reasons for going Jake. I don't disagree with them on Annie. But I think that, like, you're in this really comfortable position, I'm like, they've got to be doing an amazing social job, like, to get Annie feeling that comfortable.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I do feel like at the end of the day, you do have to pitch somebody. Yes, for pitching the strongest person on their tribe. Maybe not the smartest thing to do this early into the game. But I just felt like, I just felt like a lot of the dunking on her was so, unnecessary. And like, I don't know, I felt myself feeling so bad, especially the moment with the coconuts, where I felt like she was offering very good advice. Like, oh, shake the coconuts and try to get, the ones with the most juice. And, they were definitely dunking on her.
A bit too much.
Yeah, definitely a bit too much for me. But alas, on other tribes, they are having more luck. They're finding crabs to eat, which is pretty awesome because, again, to see where Blue is at, it's pretty crazy to just see the two different sides of winning challenges and losing challenges.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, seeing, like, being able to find that big of a crab, you're like, well done. And I love the juxtaposition of, like, we've got this crab, we're doing so well, and then let's have a prayer for the crab. Like, let's like give our energy or what it was. I love Shannon. Me and Shannon are two completely different people. I'd have been sat there just like, can we hurry up and boil it, please? Boil it. I'm hungry.
Yeah. Does anybody else feel like Shannon kind of gives Courtney from Exile Island vibes? In that first scene when there's, like, the turtle on the beach and she's, like, writing a little heart around it, I kind of felt there was a bit of a vibe there. Not to go off the Red Tribe and say vibe again, but I definitely see Courtney and Shannon being quite similar.
I definitely see that. I honestly, I'm not sure that I could have taken this either, to be honest. I was, but at the same time, look, I would just be happy that we had some food. And the crab actually looked like it was pretty meaty. I mean, that looks like a big crab. I've gone to the beach and seen the small crabs. We've got a comment from Sans. The crab will reincarnate into a survivor god. Okay. Well, there's definitely a chance. I mean, shoot.
Get behind that.
Gave its life for the tribe for sure. We continue on the Red Tribe. And I believe this is where, yes, to your earlier point, we were talking about vibes, all this young lingo, and Nate is feeling a little bit on the outside. Oof. I feel like I can see where he's coming from here.
Yeah. I mean, I think I was very surprised rewatching the episode today that they didn't have #vibe on the bottom left or something like that, because that was used a lot of times. But yeah, I definitely understand where Nate's coming from. If they're using, like, this kind of Gen Z kind of language on his tribe, and he's the older one. Obviously, he's going to feel a little bit left out. But yeah, I mean, they like the word vibe. What can I say? There's a vibe.
I mean, it was vibes. It was fire.
Yeah,
The aura was there. So
Vibe, vibe,
cinema.
vibe. Heart emoji.
Slay.
I love heart emoji being their heart emoji. And
Heart
even like cinematic, which I found so funny because we all know from the audience perspective that Nate literally works in films.
Yeah.
He's closer to cinema than any of these other five, and everything for them is cinematic. And I bet he's sitting there going, "Who are these five folks to call what is cinematic and what is not?" I figured that was going through his head as he was hearing all that. Are you all Gen Z or millennial? Where do you sit?
I think I'm
Gen Z. I think
I'm millennial. I think I'm literally on the cusp of millennial, though. I think I'm like the final millennial year.
Do you feel like you hear like those two sort of steps from one another, millennials and Gen Z, are really that different in the way that we speak?
maybe like a little bit, not too much. Like I know quite a few like millennials that are still, they'll use like the same kind of Gen Z language as such. But yeah, I think next season millennials versus Gen Z.
Ooh,
a good one.
See, now we're thinking.
No, stop, because that would make me the older tribe, and I hate that.
Ollie, do you think you would have gotten along with the rest of this Gen Z tribe?
Pardon?
Do you think that you would have gotten along with the rest of this Gen Z tribe, throwing around the lingo right with them?
Yeah. No, I think I would, because I do think some of my lingo is quite Gen Z. I mean, it's when people do the Gen Alpha, and I'm like, no, you lot need to go away. I'm like, when people are like, I'm Gen Alpha, I'm like, go away. Get in the bin. Go away. Don't care about anything you have to say.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes, I am. Yes, I'm
got to Rob. Ollie clinging to youth.
You wouldn't be able to tell how old I am. Let's just say that.
Also, we have a different take here. Hot take. This episode was actually good, and a lot of people are just hating. I mean, look, I think that now might be a decent chance to talk about this. I mean, I want to know where you're coming from, Jay. I will say I have seen a lot of people praising this episode, different parts of this episode, and simply just the fact that we did get some variation from a lot of the Survivor norms, which we're going to get to when we start talking about the journey and everything. I will say I think that this episode did have a lot of parts that were good about it. I feel like it just for me, it didn't feel like the engines were really turning. And on this podcast, we sort of more openly talk about things like edit, and I do think that it was pretty cut and dry that Annie was going to be sent home at the end of this episode. Was that just me?
Yeah, I mean, I felt that way. I think when I first watched the episode, there was a section, like, I think when they were just about to vote, and I was like, in my head, I was like, are they going to blindside Sophie? Like, will he play the idol? But, like, I think you can always tell from that first confessional if someone says, like, I'm in a good spot or I'm not going home, which I think Annie did. In my head, I was like, she must be going. Has to be.
Like, for me, I don't think it was a bad episode. Like, I really don't. Like, when I said it was tremendously okay, I mean, like, there was no bad parts to it. Like, there wasn't anything that I was tremendously like, oh, this is so annoying. It was just that it was very much a building episode for me. It was very much everything's going to start to make sense next episode. Everything's going to start to make sense episode 4, episode 5. Like, I think we're going to probably come back to this episode where it's like, okay, I get that. I will say I did like the journey, and I don't think I ever say that. So when we get to that,
let's talk about that. Well, look, I hope that in the future episodes we make sense of some things. I mean, right here we have the core 4 of Red, and the 2 on the outside are Sage and Jawan. I find this very interesting because Jawan, I feel like, was the one talking about who he was going to cast into his alliance, and he somehow found himself on the outside. I guess that's what happens when you use someone else's bag to pick up chips, which was a hilarious part of this episode. But is this the 4 that you expected to be working together?
I think part of me would have thought that maybe Sage would have been included within that. Like, not sure if she maybe would have swapped out for Shannon, possibly. But yeah, I was quite surprised that Sage wasn't in that, just because she is such a big character in the tribe. But I do feel good about these 4 people in the alliance. I do see them doing quite well if they stick together.
Yeah, I think pre-season, if you told me that it was going to be this 4, I would have been shocked in Shannon. But that's just because I didn't see much with Shannon. Like, okay, it's similar to Scott. Like, I would have swapped Sage and Shannon, but it does make sense now why this 4 are together.
Yeah, I think that for me, I would have made 2 swaps. I would have swapped Sage and Shannon, and I would have also swapped Joanne and Nate. I would have thought that Joanne was in with the younger crowd and also connected to Nate on the outside, from the outside, being a video editor, and Nate being, working in cinema as a producer, and that it was going to sort of be the struggle of, oh, Joanne is with these young folks, and he also has a connection with Nate, and he's trying to keep him on the end. Essentially, what Alex is trying to do on Blue with Annie. I would have thought that that's how this broke down, but alas, it did not. But this is an interesting scene where, it feels like it's pretty cut and dry what the tribe divisions and lines are here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
We don't get that much these days. Then we have Yellow, where I think that things are definitely, we're shown some more mix-ups where Matt thinks that he has a Type 4, bringing in
Steven
in
and Christina.
Steven and Christina. Thank you. Look, we're still very early to this season here. And he also wants to bring in MC to create a 4. However, MC is not necessarily down for this. What do you all think about this scene?
Yeah, I think I would have probably felt the same way that MC did. It's never really a good sign if someone makes an alliance without you being there, I'd say. It was kind of very reminiscent to me of maybe Sierra in Blood versus Water, when she's kind of like brought in as this 4th person in an alliance of 3. You never want to feel that you're kind of on the outs of it, especially on a tribe of 6. You don't want to feel like you're the last person in an alliance. But yeah, I think I know where MC's coming from on this one, but it'll be nice. It'll be cool to see if she actually sticks with this or not.
I mean, when Matt openly says, "Hey, we've got a 3 and we want you to be number 4," it's like, "Yep, that's great. Give me 4th place." Like, absolutely love that for me. I don't think it was necessarily I don't think MC did anything wrong. It was what Matt did wrong. Because, again, why would you openly say, we've built a 3 and we want to include you? Because, and I say this, yes, there is absolutely chance that, MC can come in and Steven and Christina can bond more with her and be like, actually, we don't like Matt. But, there is always going to be that feeling in the back of MC's mind that no matter what she does, she's always going to be number 4. So I think what MC did, made absolute sense. And I think she was a little sneaky and devilish, and I loved that because we've seen MC the Challenge Beast, absolute amazing competitor. I think one of the strongest competitors we've seen in the new era. So I'm glad to see we get to see the strategic side as well.
Yeah, I absolutely do not think that this would have happened if Matt pitched this a different way. And I think that it's the way that he brought it up to her, where it was like, "Oh, the 3 of us are already together and we want you to be a part of this." And it's like, that is maybe the worst way to pitch a group of 4, maybe in the history of Survivor. I was so blown away that he put it like that, this deep into the show's run. And I was under the impression that he was more on the fan side, but maybe I'm wrong about that, because I just think that he absolutely botched this. And I think that in a different world, MC would not have done what she even did, going and talking to Sophie. And I think that it was a matter of this just being brought up in the worst way possible. Alas, she did what she needed to do, and she talked to Sophie. And I think that this was a great play by MC, because she has this group of 4 that wants to be with her, while also now having the trust of Sophie, who would have never known this without MC coming up to talk to her.
Yeah, it's very smart. She's literally keeping every door open on her tribe. So I think she's surprising me. She's definitely playing smart, and I would not be surprised if she has the option of being the split vote between these 2 different groups later on down the road if the tribe end up going to tribal council. But yeah, I definitely think MC is probably in the best position on the tribe, if you ask me. But
I agree. Like normally I would be worried, being like, oh, like MC might be putting her hands in too many cookie jars, but I don't necessarily think she is. I think she's very much kind of going, here we go, and then she's going to take it out. She's doing this and then taking it out. I think that's the smart play that she's doing. And I think a lot of people, when they try to put their hands in all the cookie jars, they always keep them in. I think MC's doing a really good job of, here's the information, I'm now going to back away. I'm just going to give you the information and I'm not going to look anyway. So well done, MC, on that.
Yeah, we've got another hot take coming from Jay. By the way, Jay, loving all the hot takes. Throw your hot takes in the comments. Throw your cold takes in the comments. Let us know what you thought about this episode. Jay saying, hot take again. It's okay to be on the bottom of an alliance pre-merge, especially on a winning tribe like Hina, given that you won't be targeted as the leader come a swap or a merge. I definitely agree. And I also think that it's one of these things. I think that it's okay to be on the bottom in general. I mean, even with Sophie here, Sophie in a different world where Hina goes to tribal back to back, she might be gone already before she can help herself or before MC can help her. She now has this information, long before they're even going to tribal, and she can do something about it. She can create a shakeup. So I definitely agree with you there, Jay. Okay, this is the moment. I thought this was coming up. I thought this was a little bit earlier. This moment upset me so much. Am I the only one here?
I agree. I
Sorry.
felt bad for her so much. Like she wasn't really doing anything that crazy, I'd say. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
Holly, let's hear your evil take, please.
Well, this is the thing. We all know I love a villain, so I'm sat here going, well, I mean, okay, look, I understand, like, okay, no one wants to be called a Karen. If someone called me a Karen, I'd be like, hold up, no. But again, I think it stems from the fact that they all know that Annie is not in the best position. Annie does not know that. So, like, I give Annie grace in the sense of they're doing a great job at feeding her delusion, thinking that she's the puppet master. I think it's one of those, we have to remember, like, they're starving. They've not had Flint for, like, 5 days. Like, they've not really been able to do much.
Yeah.
So, probably the fact that they're sat there just, any little thing can annoy them, and that's probably what it is. And probably comes to the fact that they're in a comfy position. They feel good, so they feel like they can be a little bit villainous. So that's kind of the space I'm at. But also, I know for a fact if I was in that situation and hadn't eaten for 5 days and I had Annie going, yes, I'd be like, oh, girl. I'd be like, I'm not shaking coconuts all day.
Oh, man, that's too funny. I think that I would literally be like, Annie, thank you for helping me get more liquids in my system and know how to find the good coconuts. But I will say, I also do love a villain. I don't know why. I just think just knowing how helpless Annie felt this whole entire episode is what made me feel even worse. Mm-hmm. And then moving on, we have this man walking around, sniping shoes, and going specifically after Annie. And we were joking around the first time. We were like, is he just going to, like, be grabbing the shoes of the person who is most likely to be, voted off? And for so far, he is 2 for 2.
Yeah.
What do you think about this? Shoe Bandit Part 2.
I don't know if he's maybe trying to have like a Russell Hantz moment of, when he burns socks and stuff like that, or hide things, or just trying to, be a bit mischievous around camp. But I just feel so bad for Annie. It's like, you don't want to hide her shoes. Like, she's literally the one that needs like the most like uplifting right now. She didn't know she's on the outs, but we know she's on the outs. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate the TV, aspects of it where he's trying to shake things up and make things interesting. But yeah, I'd be pissed if my shoes were missing.
Don't touch my shoe. Don't touch my effing shoe. Touch my shoe, I will personally vote you out. Don't touch my shoe.
And then we have the moment that we brought up briefly. And real quick, just to throw up some comments here. Shoe Bandit strikes again, as we saw. And Jay also agrees that Annie was probably a little, played with this time around. And Amy, I also think this is an amazing take. This is the drama that I like to see. Is the drama with MC. That feels a lot more balanced, just as a whole. But we spoke about this a little bit before. is this an excusable mistake to make, or is this wild?
I mean, everyone makes mistakes, but I would be so annoyed if my bag was full of like grit and dirt and ants, and my stuff was in. Oh no, it would make my skin crawl already.
Yeah.
No.
And you know what? I think that Savannah dealt with she's in confessional talking about how mad she was. I think Savannah dealt with this very well, all things considered, because I genuinely think that I would call him a liar. I'd be like, Juwan, there's no way you thought this was your bag, dude. Like, you didn't see my stuff in here, and especially with Savannah. Savannah's like, my clothes and your clothes are completely different. Why? Like, how did you not know this was my bag? Ollie, I see you having a sneeze attack over there, but if you were able to catch your breath, what did you think about this?
Yeah, don't come on now. This is like, I know we were all kind of trying to defend Juwan a little bit earlier. But like, how do you not clock whose bag that is? Especially because I know for a fact they have their initials on like the strap. It's one of those little things in Survivor that is going to make a difference, because like these things, again, when you're hungry, when you're trying to figure out dynamics, this is going to be something that goes against Juwan. So I mean, it was just another so sorry, Juwan, another thing against you, from the game standpoint, I mean.
Absolutely. And look, why don't we all take a chance to catch our breaths and hear a little bit from one of our ads here.
Hey, you. Yeah, I'm talking to you. No, not them. I'm talking straight to you. Are you interested in even more Survivor content? Make sure to check out Survivor Now's Patreon page. We've got some incredible stuff going on over there, like an exclusive interview with the Dragon Slayer, Coach. Can you believe it? As well as many seasons that we revisit. So much bonus content, and there's 2 tiers to choose from. Either be a faithful member for $3 a month, or be a legend for $5 a month. There's also a 1-week free trial for the legend tier if you're interested. So what are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description below and join our Patreon today. I better see you there. All right, let's go back to the show.
That was fun. I actually really like that. Here we are going to the journey. Now, I thought that it was interesting. As always, people get to the journey in many different ways. Matt had a rock, paper, scissors, shoe for it. Seemed like Juwan sort of just jumped up. And Jake felt like a really I can represent our tribe here. So they all got to go on this journey. Speedboats galore. And we have a challenge. We have a challenge that feels like it's actually physical, a lot more than some of the things that we've seen in the earlier new era. What did y'all think about this?
Gonna go. I mean, I appreciate the fact that it wasn't a puzzle. Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah. No, I just wanted to say really quick, I feel like Ollie has been trying not to pass out this whole episode. So, we're kind of just back here. I'm sorry for stepping on you there, Scott.
No, you're fine. I appreciate the fact that it wasn't a puzzle or like a little, shuffleboard thing. Like, it kind of did reminisce back to the older challenges of Survivor, where it's, about like weight and coconuts. I know they didn't have to hold the bag, but yeah, I appreciated that it was something, newer.
Yeah, I actually really loved this challenge. I liked that there was a physical element. And you know what I loved? No one had to risk their vote. Finally, Survivor's listening to us. Round of applause. That was the part I loved, because I think all 3 of them were right, we know we might have to risk our vote. It's fine, it's whatever. And I think all of them breathed a sigh of relief when they were wait, our votes aren't up for, oh, fabulous. Seeing that, now if I was to go on the show, I wouldn't feel as worried to go on a journey. Part of me would be okay, no, I'm fine with this. Because before I'd be absolutely not, I'm not risking my vote. And I actually agree with Jay in the comments. He's this was the best journey in the new era, hands down.
I agree.
Definitely.
So well done to them. Survivor, you're listening. We're proud of you.
I really do feel like they're listening, and I feel like, this is a challenge that felt, again, like there were not too many options and choices in the actual game. Sure, you could have gone after one person or the other, but there really is only two. I'm sure they were just sort of going back and forth for the most part, so as not to put a target on their backs. But when Juwan actually won, I think is yes, that's where like just the fact that the other two did not immediately lose their vote. Juwan got to make a decision. He was not automatically burdened with one thing or another.
Mhm.
And throwback to Brain versus Brawn versus Beauty with the do you want to look out for your tribe or do you want to look out for yourself?
Yeah.
And those are some of my favorite sort of forks in the road
Mhm.
in Survivor history. Just where you can make a selfish decision or you can make a decision that will help your whole entire tribe. And I think that this, we all saw the state that Juwan was in before going to this journey. I think he needed this more than he even realized.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like, remind me, has there ever been like a decision where it's like you can give a tribe a disadvantage? My brain's not remembering anything.
I don't think so.
No, I think this is the first time it's generally been like you can give the other, like, obviously you had like the medallion, I guess, in like Nicaragua where it was like your tribe gets an advantage. But there's never really been a thing where it's like this tribe is like gonna have a disadvantage. So I was like, oh, I love this. There's a little spiciness to it. Now,
Yeah.
would I have wanted to have been shady and taken someone's vote? Absolutely. That's probably where I would have gone.
What did you think, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, I think he made the right decision, doing the tribe disadvantage. Although he's kind of on the outs on his tribe. I don't know if the extra vote would have done all that good if they did go to tribal that episode. But yeah, I did really like the fact that he had the option rather than just here, you have this. He actually had the choice to choose, so I really like that.
Yeah, I first of all, I love this. Just the option of choice. But I think that more than just that, I think that it allows us at home to go, what would you have done? Just like you said, Ollie, you're like, I don't know, I might have gone for the vote. I was sitting there. Honestly, I think that in this specific situation, Juwan did make the right decision. Where if he feels like he's on the bottom, whether he knew or he did not, this really, really helped him. He was able to go back with like a piece of parchment that literally said, tribe disadvantage, where it was very, very clear what he chose. But what I actually like in how this was set up is that there was a version of this episode where Jawan decided to steal a vote from a player of the other team and have an extra vote himself, and he could have gone back and much like some survivors of the past, created this fictitious story where he said, "Hey, and I had a choice to look after the tribe or look after myself. If I looked after myself, I could have taken a vote from someone on my tribe to use as my own, but I decided to look out for the tribe and take a vote from another tribe and use it on myself." And I feel like there was a real missed opportunity here, and I felt like it was sort of right in his hands where he could have made a selfish move, but played it to be a selfless move. Do either of you guys think about that? And what do you think about that? Just that thought overall.
Yeah, I was quite surprised that he didn't kind of play up to it a little bit more. Like you said, you could have just made a lot more with that choice. Like kind of when he was talking to his tribe, he could have, played it up a little bit more. But then again, with him being totally truthful and honest, it seems like they bought it. So yeah, it might be the best thing for him because he is on the outs. Might give him a little bit more trust. Not saying that I don't think he'll probably would be the first one voted out if they do go to tribal. I don't see them voting out Sage over him. That's just my personal thoughts. But yeah, I was surprised he maybe didn't add a little bit more to it, kind of drum it up a little bit.
What do you think, Ollie?
I don't think much, I'm not going to lie. That thought did not cross my mind. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I definitely just thought that was interesting, knowing that, hey, even in the selfish vote, it didn't feel like he was completely, in a place where he, essentially admits to everyone, "Oh, I'm a selfish player." He had room to wiggle, and I thought that was really interesting. I like that. I really, really like how they played this journey. Um, Now, Juan is not the only one getting advantages in this game. We also see on the blue tribe, Alex and Jake. Well, really, Alex finds the beware advantage, immediately lets Jake in on it. They really, really are playing as a pair in this game. And it is a very unique clue to an idol where only after they lose can he find a clue to where it's hidden at the well. Was this this sort of stray from the norm? Was this exciting for you all, or do you feel like this made things worse, perhaps? What do you think, Scott?
I found it quite exciting that you could only do it after you lose. I think that kind of adds a bit of trepidation in the air, because in his head, if he was in a worse position, he could be like, do I potentially throw this challenge to get this thing from under the well at camp? I think it was quite a nice touch that they added it, that you have to get this after you lose. I thought that was quite nice.
They definitely did.
Yeah, they did.
Sorry, that comment. I was like, I'm pretty sure we saw it in 46. Yeah. Yeah, I liked it. I mean, I was so happy to see the bromance get it, obviously. But I do think this will slightly come back to bite Alex, but I will explain more of that afterwards.
Very interesting. I like the suspense there. We get to our challenge, and this is the challenge where it is revealed that Juwan had put a disadvantage on Hina. Juwan's reactions, everyone's reactions, hearing about this disadvantage. 20 pounds per person, plus additional locks. We know the result of this, but this felt like overkill when I first heard it. What did you think, Scott?
No, honestly, when I heard 20 pounds of coconuts, I was like, well, we might as well go to tribal now. I did not see Hina making it through that at all. But I was actually quite surprised. I don't know if you guys would agree that he chose Hina to be disadvantaged. I would have thought that he maybe would have just gone with the blue tribe just because they're already a member down, and we kind of see sometimes in the newer era seasons that a tribe that's already on a losing streak kind of have that downfall. So I thought he would have just put the punishment on them, but yeah, I was very surprised that it was Hina to begin with.
Yeah, I mean, because like the hindsight is piss off like 4 people versus piss off like 6 people. Like I'm saying the 4 in the sense of give Keller the disadvantage. You know that they're going to lose again. I did love the reactions though. I loved Christina and Sophie in this entire montage where like Christina's like, okay. And then you've got like Sophie absolutely doing like an Ollie eye roll. I was like, that's a queen after my own heart. So I was like, love that.
Yeah, I definitely expected this decision, to be completely honest, just because I could see the logic where it's like, well, look, Blue's already down 1. Let's just let's give this to Yellow because we're not going to give it to ourselves. But I do think it's an interesting logic to be like, look, I'm imagining, obviously, I'm sure I would hope that he would say it a little better, but if he was like, look, Blue's already down 1, so let's just make him down 2. We're going to give it to Blue. I think that would have been pretty funny, honestly, because there is something to guaranteeing your win over trying to level out the playing field, and that definitely would have guaranteed the win because this challenge, first of all, I mean, beautiful big challenge. Somehow, even with the disadvantage, Yellow ekes out the win. I was blown away. I was literally blown away.
Yeah, I did not see that coming whatsoever. No, I did not think they had a chance in hell to get through that. But I mean, it goes to show that sometimes all it takes is a puzzle to switch things up.
Absolutely. And Blue, I almost didn't know if Blue was doing such an awful job at this or if the other 2 were just doing such a fantastic job, because I know Jeff gave Jason a lot of credit here with the Jason 3rd puzzle in a row. But for Blue, I mean, Blue didn't really get anything done. What did you think, Ollie?
Honestly, this was cinema. The vibes were immaculate. Honestly, like I think it was Jay put it, like, honestly, it was incredible that they had that kind of like comeback. Like, I mean, and I think Isabel also said it, like, I actually think those alternates were the best thing to happen to Hina, because
Literally.
you've got like MC that is like beasting it, and then you've got like Jason that is like the puzzle king. So like all round, like they are such a strong tribe. So I'm like, I mean, it's impressive. Obviously, does it slightly put like a physical target on their back at the moment? Yeah. But I mean, like, props to them for like killing it.
I do wonder if this is going to come back around to bite them. Where it's like, do you remember Yellow? Even with 20 pounds on top of them and this disadvantage, they were still able to win. Or if it's going to be like, you know, there are certain times where I think that something is so impressive that you're like, wow, that was an amazing feat. You know, Blue, as Amy said, Blue really blew it. I'll put it that way. You know, because and it's funny because I remember when Caleb got his shot in the dark hit, there was a conversation that people were like, oh, but remember when Kelly, you know, remember when Kelly had her idol moment and people did not vote her off right after? You know, why did Caleb not get that same grace? And sometimes I think that things are just so impressive that, you know, people are like, wow, that was just really cool. You know, let's keep this person around for a while. And sometimes, you know, the opposite happens where it's like, oh no, we need to eviscerate this team immediately. And in this case, I really do wonder what the, further consequences of winning this with the disadvantage might be. Moving on. Oh, go ahead, Scott, please.
Oh no, sorry. I was just going to say, I don't know if we're coming across to it, but did any of you see that part of the challenge where I thought Sophie's skin was hanging off her knee?
Yeah.
Honestly,
I have something of that in the tribe is posted.
Oof, oh my god, I was worried.
Yeah, I did see that, and I remember having the same thought. I was like, is that skin or is that a Band-Aid? Please tell me that's a Band-Aid. Disturbing. Here we are, Blue, back at it again, and Annie trying to pitch with very little success. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, when you've switched your opinion, like you've had this opinion for 2 days, and now all of a sudden it's like, yeah, we'll do Soph. I'm like, oh, Annie, stick in the hole. Actually, do you know what? From like a very good quote from someone that I know. It wasn't the nail in the coffin; it was the flowers on the grave at this point for Annie. Like, very much that. But yeah, like, Scott, what did you think of like Annie coming out of nowhere being like, Sophie, we gotta go for Sophie?
I mean, I can maybe see in her head where she's coming from, where if she said to Sophie, let's vote out Jake, and to Jake, let's vote out Sophie, it might cause a bit of a, you know, rift there. But yeah, I think maybe at that point she kind of knew maybe the writing was on the wall, potentially. I'm not sure what was really going through her mind, but I think if you're, you know, talking to Jake about getting out his ally, he's not gonna do it.
Yeah, especially when literally for the past 2 days it's gone, we should get rid of Jake. Jake's gonna literally look at Annie and go, yep. But obviously this isn't the main storyline with this pre-tribal, because you've got Alex and Jake who go to the tree mail and find the key with the ball and chain.
Yes.
And this is where I said, I was like, this is why I think this will be a detriment to Alex, because you had Jake just going, yeah, we're going to pull Sophie in. Correct me if I'm wrong. This was Alex's beware advantage.
Yeah.
So shouldn't Alex be getting the say of who gets to decide who knows about this? To me, this was. I mean, Jay's put in the chat, I love messy, delusional queens like Annie. Messy and delusional, I would give that to Jake at this point. because Jake was being messy and delusional at this point. Love you, Jake, to pieces. But it was the fact that he was like, yeah, we'll pull Sophie and we'll pull Jeremiah in. Heck, we'll pull like Hina in. What did you think of this?
I mean, the thing that got me was the fact that obviously I know it was probably part to do with the Beware advantage, but he was dragging around that ball and chain around camp. And I was like, someone's going to see that, like someone on the outs, maybe like Annie, and be like, that doesn't look right. That didn't just wash up on the ocean. Like, I think they risked that kind of being an obvious thing of like, oh, hey, we're going to go search for something. But yeah, I mean, it must be a testament to how close Jake and Alex are if they know that they can just bring in Sophie. But I wonder if Alex was deep down a bit like, it's my advantage.
Yeah, like I know you just said Jake and Alex, but I would push back in the sense of not Alex, because I don't think Alex would have. I think Alex is a smart enough player to know he wouldn't have wanted like Sophie and Jeremiah all on it.
Yeah.
But what I found really interesting, hi Phil again. What I found really interesting was Sophie. Also no skin flapping about. She was like, she'd found the box and was like, I really want to try and get this idol. We love a sneaky queen. Did we think this was a bit too sneaky, or did we like understand the reasonings? Like, Scott, what did you think about this?
No, I love this. I thought it would have been so smart if Sophie found it and then played, oh no, I can't find it anywhere. I think that would have been really good for her game. Unfortunately, obviously, it didn't end up that way. But yeah, I thought this was very, very smart of her. It was definitely, if it works out for her, it would have gone well.
This whole ball and chain fiasco was so fun to me. I just love that, once again, I love when people have items or, in 2 seasons ago's case, liquids that would never, ever, ever be on a typical Survivor beach.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, this is directly connected to you being able to get an idol. Is you essentially, the risk is that you have to explain, in this case, why you are walking around with a ball and chain. And it would be so unbelievable. It ultimately ends up being so unbelievably obvious, what is going on here. And I'm not sure if we got to the point where Jeremiah gets pulled in as well. But I just think it's what's tough about this for, for Alex's case is that it went from, oh my God, I found the Beware advantage, to, okay, I'm looking with Jake. So Jake, we come here. We found this. Let's do this. To, okay, well, look, Jake and Sophie are so close. We have to bring Sophie in. Otherwise, she's going to fill in the outs. Okay, Alex, Jake, and Sophie, this is what we have to do. And then it's like, okay, well, we don't want Jeremiah to feel left out. There was no way where this could have really been kept secret, because this core 4 still, they have tribal that night. They want to, you don't want anyone getting spooked and changing their minds about what the vote is. And so this was a really, really, really fun scene for me. I enjoyed this a lot, actually.
Yeah, definitely. I really enjoyed, the editing was really funny when Jeremiah just kind of like appeared out of nowhere in the bushes. It kind of like reminded me of when you're younger and you kind of want to invite certain people for a birthday party. And then someone's like, how about this person? How about this person? And like people you don't even know that just kind of appear out of nowhere. I found that was quite funny. But yeah, the whole time that I was watching this scene, I was wondering like, where is Annie? Like, she must notice that everyone else has gone from camp. Like, I don't know if she was maybe doing a confessional or something like that, but I would have been curious to see where she was during this whole.
She was going around shaking coconuts to see if they had enough water.
Not too much on Annie, Ollie. Not too much on Annie. But alas, the idol is found, and Alex now has an advantage, and there was no slide for it. However, it should also be stated that Alex ends up telling Annie about the advantage as well. So by the time they were going to tribal, all 5 of the people on that tribe know where the advantage lies and what the advantage is. And I just think that, again, I think that's pretty rare. I don't think it's rare that it ends up being shared with at least one person. I think that things are hardly kept a secret for the whole game. But it's definitely rare when literally everyone knows where an idol is and who has it and, what the powers are, despite it being found, the initial clue being found, with just Alex. But we move on to tribal. Oof. Any big standout moments from tribal for you guys?
Me.
God. Yeah.
The thing that I loved, and you kind of mentioned it, where Alex was like, I don't know if anyone's found an idol. And I was like, you're literally talking to every single person who knows about your idol. Like, we love public idols. I think the only other interesting thing was you saw kind of Sophie and Jeremiah get very flustered at the very start of Tribal. And I think that's a testament to like how tired and like how like Jeff did say it, like it's one of the hottest seasons we've ever had. So like, I think you can tell that. But yeah, nothing like too major. It was just very much, I loved Alex going like, if anyone's found anything, knowing full well that every single person next to him knows about his very public idol. I found hilarious. The irony was not lost.
Yeah, I definitely think that this was those were really like the two bigger standout moments from this Tribal. And we've been sort of harping on it the whole sort of podcast here, but it was a more straightforward Survivor episode. And sometimes we need those. But I will say, I wanna express an apology to Sophie, because when I was watching this, I was like, oh my God. This is a performance. There is no way that she is like this cloudy. There's no way that she's sitting there not being able to form a sentence. Like, come on now. But I got very little sleep last night. Ollie knows that I have a big thing to go to after this. And at the beginning of this podcast, I couldn't remember the survivors' names. So you know what, Sophie? I totally believe that you were having this brain fog, and the conditions are tough out there. Like I believe that it is always a lot harder than we think on this side. Scott, any stand-up moments for you?
I think like the moments that we spoke, those were the ones that stood out for me. I think with Alex's, pretend like, oh, if anybody has the idol, the only thing that I think of in that section is the others must be thinking, obviously, because they know he has it. Like, is he a good liar? Like, is it easy for him to lie as simply as that? Obviously, I know there was a bit of, cheekiness in there, but I would think if I was sitting there, okay, I'll make a note of that, because if he can lie, in a good way, with kind of nobody really being like, I think it's a good thing to keep in the noggin for the later stages of the game.
It's a great point.
Well, yeah. Especially with like at the end, when obviously we'll get to the vote. Obviously, shocker, Annie goes. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. Like Annie obviously hugs Alex like out of everyone, and Alex goes, "I'm so sorry, I had no choice." And then he's like, "I know," and I'm like, I'd be clocking that. I'd be like,
yeah.
Why does she instinctively go to hug Alex? And like, if I was Jeremiah and I could hear them go, I had no choice, I'd be like, yeah, you did actually. I kind of just be keeping on my toes a bit with Alex, because I think now that he's got the idol, I think he's definitely feeling a bit more confident, shall we say. I don't think he's cocky, but I think he's definitely in that confidence era of I've got a little bit of a safety blanket, so I'm going to be a bit more daring.
I'm happy you brought that up, Scott. I mean, you're absolutely right. I think that, and I'm happy you brought up the person that you brought up, Ollie, because I think that it's one thing, oh, I wonder who has the idol, that's one thing. But I think that at the end, truly, when Annie is walking out of the game anyways, she is not on the jury. There is no need to have this moment of, I have no choice. It felt very like, Rose and Jack, I panicked. Like it was so emotion filled. And it was like, yeah, you're right, Ollie. Like if I was Jake, I'd be looking up at him and like, dude, like, is this real or like what's going on here? And I do think that he could have been a little bit more subtle there. And I think that the others might look at that and go, wow, man, this guy apparently had a bunch of alliances outside the four. We didn't, no one else was close to Annie like that. So
look, we've heard of jury management. We're now seeing pre-jury management.
There we go. This is pre-jury management. Right here, just some takes on Tribal. If Alex had any idea what kind of snake Sophie is, he would have saved Annie. And Amy, watch out for Alex, but it's jury management time. I agree. Anywho, we lose our trashy Annie, and again, in my opinion, I'll just say, in an episode that I feel was not entirely super gracious, on her way out. I feel like they were really dunking on her. But I did see in the comments here, and I know that Ali, some people found it very entertaining. The delusion of it all. Any last words for our fallen comrade? Is that it, Ali?
Right, no, I'm joking. No, I really did enjoy Annie. I thought she was a great character. Was she a little delusional? Yes, but we've seen many a Survivor player be very much more delusional. So, like, I'm not harping that on Annie because, like, there's Q. So like, there is more people that like could be so much more delusional. But I loved her energy. I loved her vibe. So, like, yeah, well done, Annie. Fire.
Yeah, I thought Annie might have done better on another tribe. I think once, the tribe dynamic started of Jake and Alex and Sophie, and then, Jeremiah got in the mix, she didn't really have much of a chance. There was that part of the episode where they're about to vote where I thought, is Alex going to make a move and play the idol and they get out Sophie? But there was just no way. It wouldn't have been a good game move whatsoever for him. But yeah, I think Annie maybe unfortunately just had the wrong deck of cards.
The wrong deck of cards indeed. But I'll tell you who has the right deck of cards. And that is Ali and his segment, A Tribe Has Posted.
Sorry, I actually don't mind that theme tune. For anyone that doesn't know, this is the Tribe Has Posted, where I'm chronically online too much and I love a good bit of social media. So I will go scour everyone's social medias to see what's been happening. I will be stalking the Instagrams, the X accounts, the Blue Sky, maybe even the TikToks, to find out what's happening. Also, Survivor Intro says hi, just thought I'd say. But yeah, we start off with some Instagram stories from the castaways, where it was the intro, because as you know, we love a Survivor intro. So you've got Sophie with the E, you've got Savannah, you've got Jawan, you've got Rizgod, all kind of like being happy about a Survivor intro. I feel like this is something I would post. Like, I feel like I would literally be sat there like, absolutely. Yes.
If I could throw it out, did you all notice the Survivor theme had like some alterations to it? It was like an updated version of the Survivor theme. I thought that was really cool.
Oh, do you know what? I don't think I've actually like heard the intro music. I think I've like seen the intro on mute, but I haven't actually like listened. I'm gonna have to listen to it after this, see what it sounds like.
It's funny. I usually watch the episode live every single week. This week I did not. I was not able to catch it live. I ended up having to watch it after on Paramount Plus. And I just skipped through the intro, so I actually didn't catch it in real time. But then I did see people talking about the fact that it was like, oh my god, the Survivor song like got like its first little change in years. So I went back and watched it a second time, and I thought it was really cool.
Yeah, I loved it because obviously, like old school, you had like they changed the intro music up, so I loved it because I was like, oh, there's some different noises, like you can hear that they're kind of going for a theme. So loved. Moving on though, we then have like everyone was at the Bryson Wen event in Boston. You had Steven there, you had Savannah there, you had Sophie without the E there, you had Rizgod, you had Matt, you had Nicole, you had Annie. Like everyone was at it was all going off. And also I just found this really funny thing of Bruce, so I just really wanted to include it. But also I loved Nicole's one in the middle where it was like, here's the archetype. We love the archetype. They slay every time. And then just a funny one from Steven being like, moving on though, we have Rizgod, because we saw this moment in the challenge where like he tried to do like a bat thing, and I was like, what happened here? Apparently it's welcome back I cannot say the names.
Saquon Barkley.
Thank you. English, not a clue. Couldn't tell you. So snaps for Riz God. It was fire. And then we have some more things. You've got Sophie showcasing her lovely legs, going, "It's only day 5." Other Sophie saying, "I trained my whole life for this, for that eye roll," and literally that would be me. I'd be sat there waiting for my eye roll moment on Survivor. So like, me and Sophie connected there. And then this was a really funny one I had of just literally the entire Insta story was just Jeremiah evil laughing. And I was like, I just have to include that because I found it so funny that it was just literally Jeremiah like laughing, like maniacally. And then we have 2 things from Sophie. She went, "I almost got that eye, by the way, didn't show how close I actually was." And then she confirms it was Band-Aid, people, not my skin. It was just her Band-Aid, just flapping about. You're fine. And then we've got a couple more things which I found like these more like the like extras. So you've got Savannah going like basically want to be like, "You want to come for me? Like, see you next week," with like a dagger and a skull. And I was like, "Oh, could we see some more spiciness next episode?" We then have a lovely reel from Christina. I would say go watch it. It's how she explains how she applied for Survivor and that she did a really sweet touch. She did it. She applied on her mum's birthday. Like, she was adamant that she was going to apply on her mum's birthday and how it all came about. So just watch it. It's a really sweet reel. And then Sophie also showcased where you could have gotten her jumper. So next time, if she does like a post or anything, keep an eye out because she will showcase where you can buy the jumper. And then a final couple of other things. You've got Stephen on X pulling off a 28 free Super Bowl comeback with £20 of coconut. I don't know if either of you two, John Wick. I know the movie franchise. I don't get the reference for the hashtag. I'm not going to lie.
I've seen the movies, but I'm like blanking on what that, what the connection is with that.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah.
And then I love the fact that, so this was Savannah replying to someone I actually know, being like, "What are we calling like our Savannah stands?" And I just love that it's Savannah's, Stanners, and Savannah stands. I was like, we love that she's getting her own little like stan of fans. I think that's all for the stuff that I have. Oh no, just a few things on Annie. I forgot to put her little post that she did. She does have a post on Instagram, so go check that out. But she did also post all of her exit interviews, so I would say go watch them. They were a lot of fun, and you get to hear all of Annie's perspective, so go watch them. But now we come up to the polls. So speaking hard, for those of you that don't know, I post polls on X, on Survivor Now Pod. We post them. We always post them on a Thursday, so keep an eye on them. Go vote because we then find out what you lot at home have thought. Because we were like, we want you to have your say because we're really nice like that. Subscribe. So the first one was, would you eat an earthworm on Survivor? Yes, the protein. Only if necessary. Maybe, I don't know, feels weird, or ill, no, gross. So I'm going to go to Phil first. Phil, what one would you have voted for?
Only if necessary. We talked about this earlier. I feel like there can't be that much protein in there. I also feel like I would be able to survive off coconut for a while because I like coconut. So I'm going to say only if necessary.
Okay. Scott?
I'd like to be brave and say only if necessary, but I just know that the whole mud, I would have said, no, gross.
Okay, well, I can confirm that Phil is in the majority here. 46% said only if necessary. 31% ill, no, gross. Then there was an 8% that was like, yes, the protein, which I mean, good for them. Good for them, not me. The next one is, how would you describe the dynamics of Yuli? Vibes, fire, cinema, none of the above.
Honestly,
Oh.
Yeah, vibes. I think it's got to be vibes.
Vibes.
So you're both saying vibes.
Mhm.
Well, I can tell you that this poll tied,
Oh.
and vibes was not in the top 2. It was cinema and none of the above.
Oh, too many millennials in our fan
Damn.
base. No, I'm kidding.
I was not expecting
Nothing
that.
wrong with a good millennial. But yeah, I mean, surprisingly, it was cinema. Cinema was the one I was like, excuse me?
That was referenced
Why
like
is
once,
this
I think.
here?
Yeah.
But yeah, 33% both said cinema or none of the above. And the final poll, which advantage/disadvantage would you have taken if you won the journey? So we had the extra vote and taken Matt's vote, extra vote and taken Jake's vote, the tribe disadvantage on Hina, or the tribe disadvantage on Kelly. Take your guesses.
Go ahead, Scott.
I personally would have done tribe disadvantage of Kelly just because they were already a person down.
I think I would have done. I think I would have taken Matt's vote.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before I get to this, I do just want to say Jenny Nelson in the chat's going cinema. Loved you for that.
Love it.
I really want to know how this has become an adjective. But I can tell you, it tied again. 33% said they'd taken Jake's vote, and 33% they would have done the tribe disadvantage on Hina. This is probably me being shady. I would have taken Jake's vote as well, but that's just me wanting to be messy. But I can see why the majority did the tribe disadvantage on Hina. I mean, they showcased it themselves. But yeah, that is everything. Just a reminder, if you want to come back and watch us next week, make sure to check out our X account at Survivor Now Pod, where we will have all of our polls, which you can vote on for next week, and then we can see what the results are. But that was the tribe as posted.
Thank you, Ali. In general, come back for Got Something For You next week. We are on here every Saturday, and we've got an assortment of other shows that we do. Survivor Social, the pre-show, the post-show. So come around for all of it. Stock watch the lot, please. Every view is a little bit of love. We like to give it right back to you. So thank you for bearing with Ollie. Oh,
I was just going to say, before we go, did you want to find out who the guests were next week? Because we have some guests.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Phil, if you can find the schedule while I talk about it.
Yes.
We have got 4 guests coming up next week. And I feel like I can announce it because I've done the work. So for the pre-show coming up next week, which is on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern, Randy and Tori will be joined by the lovely Lauren Hart from Survivor 44. And then there will be no guest for the after show, but for Survivor Social, you will have the lovely Tiffany Seeley from Survivor 41 joining the girls. Friday, which is Stockwatch, Survivor Stockwatch at 1 p.m. Eastern, you have from Survivor UK, we love the British representation, Shy. Shy will be joining us. And then for Got Something For You next week, myself and Phil will be joined by the lovely Josh Wilder, who always comes and visits us. This next week is the week he decides to come join us. So that's who we have next week. So make sure to join us all next week for those amazing guests and to see what we will talk about.
There we go. Thank you, Ollie. Thank you for that. And please, we'll see you all next week. Stay healthy. Don't eat too many earthworms and make sure life stays fire. Have a good one.